And here we go, guys, back with another episode of the Squeeze Pod with your boy Juice. We are here today to get into probably one of the best episodes to date. You guys very, very much want to strap in and listen to this one because it's going to be one for the ages. It is on how to win and keep on winning. Because a lot of us, and I think this is probably the best way to tell you guys this, is I heard this story once upon a time, or it was more so a question, and it's how do winners keep on winning? What is the state that makes somebody a winner? And they pondered the question by then initiating this story on how to utilize your wins to make yourself a better winner. And I think that a lot of people just feel like they can win, and once you've won, you don't have to do anything else. It's like you've hit that plateau. But you have to understand that, you know, once you reach the tip of some certain mountains, there's always a higher mountain to climb. Okay? And I know that might sound crazy, but you really have to sit down and think about it. Like, once you reach a goal, do you think your life is over? You have to understand that once some things, happen, you have to do other things to either, stay where you were or even climb higher. And I think the best way to really think about that is if you've ever been an athlete, you know that once you win that championship, you still got to train because next year you're still going to be competing. You got to do it again and again and again. And a lot of people want to, minimize that. I know everybody just wants to feel the gratification of winning, even in social settings, being able to, win an argument or have a conversation and feel like you came out superior. But there's so many more components to just winning than just the simple thing of having the achievement obtained. So you as a person, let's say you have joined a tournament of any kind, video game, basketball, it could be any kind of tournament. You go out there, you've trained your hardest, and you have won the tournament. Now, what can you do after you've won? Now, of course, you're going to want to bask in the glory. You want to say that, oh, yes, I am the greatest in this field. Okay? And let's say that you won that basketball tournament. You're the best in 2-on-2s or the best in whatever realm of basketball that you've gotten to. Then you can now try to utilize that to take yourself further. Now, most basketball players will know that you want to try to get endorsements and things like that. It's the small little things. Like you can go and say, oh, well, now that I'm the champion, you can go talk to all the companies that you ever wanted to get them to endorse you, and then they'll just, throw in money and paraphernalia and stuff at you so that way they can then further their own brand. Because, again, to be a winner, they couple together. So if you're winning, they're like, okay, well, we can piggyback off of the fact that people know your name and stuff like that. So that's how you can then circulate your winnings to a higher level. Now let's bring it back to a smaller realm, because I know a lot of people are like, well, I'm not winning basketball tournaments or things like that. But you really have to hone in, and we'll talk about that probably in another one of our not even talk about. I've already talked about strengths and weaknesses, but if you know what it is that you are strong in and you know what you aren't so strong in, then it will be easier for you to really understand what it is you can win as a person or even as you can work on to become that full-rounded person that can win, okay? But bringing it back to a more subtle level, let's just say you are in a job and you've been working there for X amount of years, let's just say 4 to 5 years. Now, somebody of higher management is starting to recognize something that you've done at work, okay? So what you should do in that at that time is take catalog or to take note in your head that they take notice when you did this certain job. Now, you may see an opening for a new position or an opportunity to ask for a raise or something like that. What you can do is I wouldn't say just one. You want to have an accumulative or maybe a few times that they found something that you did either unique or very helpful to the business. Now, utilizing that information, you can then, when in negotiations, because it is a sense of leverage, not to say that it is leverage, it is a sense of leverage in your favor to obtain what you want in said negotiation. So if you're there on a table looking for a new position, you can say that, I was working X, position, and this manager saw me on the floor and I took notice to me doing XYZ thing, and it furthered the business by doing this and this and giving some, numerological information that will help in that endeavor. Or you could even say that, me connecting with X amount of customers has allowed the business to grow in certain ways that will help us to then reach a further growth potential and hit numbers beyond our nominal margins for the quarter. Anything around that nature will help you greatly in your negotiations to get what it is that you want, utilizing the wins that you already have to further yourself in the company or to win in other favors. You can also utilize these kind of things just to further your own confidence, so that way when you're out in the world, you elude this sense and this energy of confidence, because a lot of people don't understand that, you have to accumulate confidence over time to exude it. You don't just gain it overnight and it's just magically something that you just have. It is something that you build up. So again, if you are utilizing this to keep yourself winning, then that way you can become a better version of yourself, even in general. With that being said, you who have now learned how to utilize your wins, even in the smallest of ways, I would say you can even go down to the point where if you just feel like you are above somebody in a mobile game, you can utilize that to, announce somebody challenging you in a different type of game so that they have the initiative to want to challenge you in something else. This is also a way to connect and utilize something that you're not even thinking about. Now, this is something I'm going to tell you how to make funds. If you had did something like that, let's say you become a champion level Monopoly Go player. Hopefully we don't, if Monopoly is listening, you need to sponsor a video so we can let people know to play Monopoly Go. But if not, anyway, let's just say you become the top Monopoly Go player, right? And you just happen to have some skills in coding. Even if you don't, there's so many different ways nowadays to create apps. But then you create your own app, and then you challenge all these people who want to just get back at you in some way, shape, or form into a new game where you now accumulate funds for people just downloading it. Of course, you can give other little in-game things that make people purchase, and then you are now making millions of dollars or however much money you may make from having a new app that you utilize your fame or your winnings from to gain more for yourself. That is why a lot of people who, I don't want to try to target you, but I'm trying to tell you right now, if you allow yourself to just sit and wallow in the dumps, you're going to continuously be in the dumps. They say that you're a product of your environment. I would say you're a product of your inner world, and that is what you allow yourself to be on the inside. So if you choose to allow yourself to stay sad and depressed, the world around you will be sad and depressing. So the best way to do that is to turn that frown upside down, as the ultimate little coin of the term would say, but then you need to elevate past that. Again, like I said, you're going to get to a plateau. You're going to want to go above and beyond that, because there's not just one mountain. There's many and more mountains, because once you win one thing, you want to go above. So what else can you do to even understand that? Well, as soon as you win something, as soon as you feel like you've had that sense of accomplishment real down, deep down in yourself, that you did something, you need to understand what you can do to maintain that, because what is it that got you on top in the first place, okay? What do you do after that to maintain it, okay? That is very key. What do you do to just maintain being on the top? Okay, then you have to push those limits. What can you do to go even further than that? Now, you're probably like, well, why are you even telling it to us like this? Think about it like this. If you just obtain that achievement, let's just say you became the best vocalist or whatever Something like that, because we're trying to talk about a broad spectrum. We want to talk on every field. But let's just say you became the best vocalist. If you're not training every day your voice, you're not waking up and doing that vocal lessons and things like that, just like any other thing, you have to practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. But you have to think about this. What made you the best now will always have to change, because you can't sing the same song and expect the same results. Okay, people are gonna love it for what it is, but then it's just gonna be a memory. You have to change and evolve as well. You would have to start changing the tones. You have to start doing new things that you weren't doing before, and it just makes you a bunch more robust, so that way you can execute in many fields. And that doesn't just pertain to singing. Like, let's say you're just somebody who does woodwork, or I'll even give it to this. If you're a person who is a fisherman, right? You have to try new and inventive ways to fish, because if we were still just fishing with fishes and rods, do you think that you could go to the seafood store and find all the different types of fish that you found today? Absolutely not. If we did not evolve as a people through our own accomplishments, because that is what society is today, is just the evolution of accomplishments. So we as individuals have to be on the same scale as our society around us. That just means that, hey, just like the world around us, we made a phone that only allowed us to communicate with one another, and then separately made computers. Now jam-packed in your phone is multitudes of different technologies in the palm of your hand. And you think that you can't do something even minutely similar to yourself is absolutely ridiculous. But I want to talk to all those people that do think it is possible and will do something about it. So what else can you do? Well, you can visualize, you can manifest, you can do all those other kind of things. But what you really need to do is put your foot to the ground and keep things moving. What I mean by that is, once you have that success, that triumph, that achievement, that you need to have already had a plan of other things that you wanted to do, because it couldn't have been the only thing you wanted to do for the entirety of your life. And if it is, you need to know how, again, you want to maintain, then you want to strive to do better. After you strive to do better, we're going to sit here now and we are going to make sure that we keep our spectrum broad, just like we were talking about before. But to do that, we have to be open to change. So all of these things combined will then give you the formula, the mastery, the absolute best way to then win again and again. And we have to be accepting that all wins won't come in the form of yeses or things like that. You might be turned down. It might come in a failure to get somewhere at one point, because it won't allow you to know what you need to strive towards in the future. So failing is also a win, and I want you to understand why right now, because if you lose and you understand and you kind of learn from the mistake, then you can go and turn that loss into a win. If you're somebody who's going out and you're being turned down by several companies for a book deal or something like that, then maybe you need to self-publish. If you're going out and, trying to reach an audience that you're not, really touching to, then reach out to a different audience. It doesn't mean that you don't have the right message. It doesn't mean that you don't have the right things. It just means you're not pitching it to the right communities, because there's an ear, there's an eye for everyone. There's people down the road. If you think about it like this, even this is the best way I can even think about it. A panhandler, okay? There's no way that 100% of everybody that comes past them gives them a lick of change. But there's somebody in their heart that maybe has a little bit more, maybe feels for somebody like that, maybe has some family or something that can relate to that said situation. Even they might themselves have been in that situation. Those are the people that will give to them. And after an accumulative amount of time, let's just say, like anybody else, they work 8 hours. They're standing there for 8 hours. They can accumulate a massive amount of money. You don't know how much. I'm not quoting any numbers, but I know for a fact that if you go to the right places at the right times, you will get a surplus more. And I will tell you one little story that is, I don't even know if the gentleman is still alive, but a retired older gentleman who worked as a civil servant. I'll say that much. I won't give his whole, job detailing out. Retired and then became a panhandler, like right in front of a toll booth for a certain highway in a certain state we won't name because I just give you guys too much information. But you know what? It's in the upper tri-state area. I'll say this near Nouveau Yorko, But the man would sit there for hours, and again, he had a great pension and all that other kind of stuff, and he would accumulate a very, very, very good amount of money from people just having loose change and stuff about to get on the highway. Now, I can't judge the man for it because he set up well and he made it work. But it was just that he sat there and he utilized that. He didn't want to work. He didn't want to go anywhere. But you have to sit there and think about this is what you can do to utilize for yourself. Like he knew what he wanted. It was after he reached a certain plateau and he said, I want to sit down and still accumulate money. And he said he's actually was making more money than he was doing what he loved. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You have to really sit down and really analyze. So once you get to a certain plateau, what are you going to do next? Because it's not just going to be, something waiting for you unless you have a plan. So make sure you have a plan too. And even if you don't, make one. You can win and then start planning that same day. You know why? Because after that, there's still going to be people that, living off that high. The energy doesn't die down immediately, so you have time to utilize it. Okay? Don't be in a sense of manic panic, thinking that you have to do it all in the same instance. But you do need to move quick, but not so fast that you lose your mind, okay? Also, I would like you all to think about this when you're thinking about utilizing your wins is how will it further my future? Because you cannot sit there and just do things for the attention of now. And I know a lot of people see the results of trending things and stuff like that, but those people have worked for time and time again and may have not caught on until they made a trend. So it's not always great to just follow trends and try to be on the wave of someone else. It is understanding your own uniqueness and then knowing when and how to utilize that own savory, unique person that you are. Now, I can't specifically tell you what you have, but you, while taking account of yourself and knowing what has taken you from, somebody who wasn't getting exactly what they wanted to a semblance of what it is you wanted, you know what it is that it takes to project your uniqueness onto this world and get good results. Now, again, that doesn't mean that they're always going to come in the way of success, but your failures should be a lesson to give you more success. Now, although this probably might seem like a lot of jumble of words to some of you guys, and I hope that everybody that really hears what I have to say understands that winning does not come easily for those who don't understand what that means. So once you get to that accomplishment state, you will understand that, okay, you're in a sense of like glory and your head is really high. It's like, it's a whole different state. But I'm telling you how to maintain this right now. And not just maintain it, how to win both today and in the future from one field of expertise to another. You have to keep your focus. You have to have strong and clear goals. You have to practice until you create something even new. You have to be okay and accepting of your uniqueness and utilize it to further yourself and just have fun with it. Because at the end of the day, if you aren't having fun and aren't enjoying yourself, you will burn out. And of course, you can rest and things like that, vacation, but you have to be doing something that you love. And I think we all know that. I think that has become extremely clear in today's society that if you're not doing something that you feel like you love, then you just need to quit. And I know a lot of people, well, I got so many responsibilities and all these other kind of things. Even like myself being a streamer and things like that, I give a little bit of extra time for the goals and the things that am doing. And even myself, I have to utilize my own wins. So any sponsors out there, please come into the comments. If you are looking to sponsor a channel that's up and coming, we are looking for sponsors, any brand labels that wish to help the channel out. We will definitely give you the due diligence. We will promote any, not any brand. We will promote any optimal brand for this channel. And we also look to get any support from you all as the viewers. So, and that way it's actually free for you all, is the subscribe button. If you click that subscribe button down below, that is the best way to help this channel to grow. And if you hit the like button, it just spreads our channel and all this beautiful information to people across the world. We are already in over 12 nations. We would love to grow to more. And I will soon be looking towards bringing all of my content in different languages. So in pursuit of that, I need you guys' support so that way I can touch other regions and give them this same type of information, and in a wealth of plethora of other things that will be coming along. And if you are also just trying to help, you can just comment down below what you think about the video. Help me to grow, even if it's some criticism. I do not mind, because both the positive the positive feedback and the negative feedback all work for me. Okay. And if you're really looking forward to this, later on this week, we will be having another interview with another podcast. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a lot there. The Real Podcast, guys. So the Real Pod is absolutely amazing. Run by two gentlemen. We'll be getting into it over on Friday, so you can tune in then. Their page is really amazing. They get into a lot of real type of conversations about jail and other things that this channel doesn't have any access to, but we will probably talk to some of their acquaintances over there, and we'll be getting to you some very diverse content. If you've liked this episode, again, guys, this is your boy, the host, Juice. And this has been the Squeeze Pod. I thank you for watching, and peace out.